add animations to these objects. Uh, okay, before we go there, before we talk about animations, let's talk about the timing in the timing section here in the transitions page, the transitions ribbon. The timing section is basically important. See, if you notice here, there is an option to add sound. See, basically what this does is when you select a particular sound, it'll add that particular sound as a background to this particular slide. So when you play this slide, you get an applause as a background sound. Okay, you can set the duration of this particular sound. Right now it's 1 millisecond. Sorry, it's 1 second and 20 milliseconds. And this is how you can define time. Say you want the applause to play for a longer period. Like say you want to play you want that to be played for say 3 milliseconds. So I say, sorry, 3 seconds and 20 milliseconds. So I change the duration to 3 seconds and 20 milliseconds. And these sounds that you've added will work only when you put the presentation to full screen. See here, this is how you put the presentation to full screen. This is a shortcut right here. See at the bottom here, if you notice, there are four different options. The first option is the normal view, which is the view that you're seeing right now. And the next option is a slide sorter. I'll talk about slide sorter a little later. No, let me tell you what a slide sorter does. Basically, if you want to move a slide from slide, say for example, the slide number 3 is actually slide number 2. The slide sorter is basically, these are different views. So in this, it'll be very easy in the slide sorter view. It'll be very easy for you to move a particular slide from one, say for example, from 3 to 2 or 3 to 1 or 1 to 2. So basically, slide sorter is a view where which helps you to move the slides from one position to another position. And the third view is called the reading view. See, this is how the reading view looks. This is almost like a slideshow, but then this is not in full screen. This is in a window screen. See, when I say window screen, you still have the minimize, maximize, and the close buttons. Yeah, so this is called a reading view. And the last view is called the slideshow. Slideshow is actually a full screen view. Yeah, so the transitions that you see can be viewed when you put it to reading view or to slideshow view only. At the same time, the sound can be heard when you put it to reading view or slideshow view only. Yeah, and now let's look at what this advanced slide means here. See, basically what happens when I'm switching between slides, I basically do a mouse click or I click on the keyboard. I click a key on the keyboard. Basically, I generally use the direction key, the forward direction key. So basically, if you don't want to move to the next slide using a mouse click, you can always time it. So when I say time it, what I mean by that is, instead of selecting mouse click here, you uncheck mouse click and you select time. Say for example, the slide has to change every 1 second. No, sorry, this is hours, minutes, and seconds. So if you want to change the slide every 1 second, so for the first slide, I select 1 second here, and for the next slide I choose 1 second. Say I want to time it to 1 second for all slides. So this is how you do it. You select the slide, you untick mouse on mouse click, and you select after, and you set the time. Oh, it can be 1 minute, it can be 2 minutes, but here I've set 1 millisecond, which is nothing. Right? So you can select different time options as well if you want to time the transition. If you want to time the transition. Okay, now let's look at animations. Now let me show you how to add animations to a particular object. Now let's go back to the normal view. Say I want to add a transition called, say I want to add transition to this title. All I do is I select the title, I select the transition. See, you can always place the cursor on top of transition to see how it looks before you apply. Yeah, so I place the cursor on top of this to see how it looks. So here in this case, okay, let me try fly in. Okay, and then for the subtitle, let me do probably fade. Okay, now see, if you notice, this is what has happened. So when I selected these things, okay,